Let's not kid ourselves. This belief that we need to keep developers busy is very prevalent. I see it all the time, so-called Agile teams, ensuring that every single member is busy, productive, efficient, running at full potential 24/7. Even brilliant minds fall for this trap. I recently read an article about Elon Musk and his obsession for productivity, efficiency, believing that more productive developers stay longer at work and write more code, working 60 to 80 hours per week, measuring the performance of developers based on lines of code written. There's this obsession with efficiency, busy people, and a common culprit in the Scrum team is the product owner. The product owner wanting to keep developers busy throughout the sprint. Does this make sense? Is this behavior effective? Is it good practice or an entire pattern? Let's find out in this video. But first, maybe we can go back to the goal. What's the goal of a product owner? As per the Scrum Guide 2020, the product owner is accountable for maximizing the value of the product resulting from the work of a Scrum team. Interesting. On the other hand, developers are the people in the Scrum team that are committed to creating any aspect of a usable increment each sprint. This means a lot of things, but typically in a Scrum team, the developer's role is to design, develop, and maintain software solutions, identifying bugs where required, fixing bugs where required, ensuring that the application is secure, maintaining and improving the application, the environments, and the tools they use on a daily basis. Now, with all this in mind, it would make sense that the product owner whose ultimate goal is to maximize the value of the product resulting in the work of the Scrum team would ensure that the Scrum team is efficient, effective, productive, 24/7, that they can capture the maximum value out of the work of developers. In short, ensuring that developers are always busy. All this sounds logical. Ensuring that the developers are efficient, 100% fully optimized, sounds logical, but leads to a lot of problems in the long run. First, technical debt, an environment where, just imagine, you are a developer, fully optimized, fully efficient, in an environment where the product owner is pushing work on you, ensuring that you are always busy. Obviously, you will do the work that the product owner is suggesting, inserting in the product backlog, and maybe ignoring technical things, which will increase technical debt. Because we want to release faster, we are ignoring technical debt. In the long run, this will lead to product stagnation. You can no longer develop because the technical debt is so huge. The morale of the developers will be impacted. The developers will be demotivated. And this is very hard to fix, even if you give developers space, because they are already in a habit of ignoring technical debt. And at some point, if this persists, the product will stagnate, will no longer be able to improve the product because the technical debt is so huge. And at some point, we'll need to work on reducing this technical debt, maybe multiple sprints in a row with reducing technical debt as the highest priority. The second problem that keeping developers busy might cause is all about efficiency versus effectiveness. Effectiveness is all about doing the right things. Efficiency is all about optimization, doing things right. We are often focused on efficiency, always optimizing the team, keeping people busy, being productive. Developing code is not the first step in the process. There's a lot of things that happen prior to developing code, especially deciding which feature to build, ensuring that the definition of ready is met. All these things might lead to a lot of wasted time in the long run if we are deciding to work on features that don't make any sense for the customer, don't bring any value for the customer. The team is fully optimized, extremely efficient, but they are working on the wrong things. The priorities, the roadmap of a product, wrong. And maybe we are measuring the performance of a team by lines of code being written, story points being burned down, the amount of tasks that we complete every single sprint. Yeah, it's a measure of the productivity of developers. But what about good quality code? Are they writing quality code, because a developer might be constantly busy because they are writing crappy code and they are fixing it, and they are realizing that there's a bug again and they are fixing it. They are constantly busy, but we are measuring their productivity on the lines of code written or the amount of tasks that they are completing. So it looks like they are doing great work, but they are in a spiral of writing crappy code. Sure, but your measures, how you measure productivity, is extremely important and will drive the focus of the team. It should be about effectiveness, not efficiency. One of the clear signs that a team is focused on efficiency instead of effectiveness is meetings. The developers' calendars are always booked, fully booked with meetings, and they are praised for that, especially by the product owner. The product owner is always telling developers, okay, you need to go to this meeting, you need to talk with this user, you need to talk with this stakeholder. Developers constantly in meeting every single day, and they are praised for that. When you are in meetings, code is not being written. Meetings are good, yeah. They are valuable because decisions are took in meetings. Information or data that will allow someone else to do something are took in meetings. But code is not written in meetings. And the focus of developers is ensuring that we are writing code, that we are progressing every single day, every single hour of the day, progressing towards completing the sprint goal. And you can't do that if you're stuck in meetings 24/7. Go back to effectiveness. What are we trying to achieve here? Software development is complex. The developer's job is hard. Developers are expensive. I understand that. As a business, I need to ensure that cost is reduced to a minimum. That's why I want to ensure that developers are fully 100% optimized, efficient every single day. Imagine a developer writing a piece of code that produces 10 bugs. This developer would be held accountable by the team. Why is your code bad? Write cleaner code. What about stakeholders, sponsors who are making the wrong decisions in terms of strategy, priority, in terms of what features to build or improve? What if right now we are building something that is not valuable for the customer, that will not maximize the value of the customer? Are these people held accountable? Are we ensuring that the product owner is effective, is efficient? Are we ensuring that the stakeholders are indeed effective, efficient, the sponsors effective, efficient, or the only one who are accountable in the team are the developers? Everyone, the whole process, the whole flow needs to be optimized, not at the start of development, but from the beginning. It needs to be optimized to ensure that everyone understands their role, understands what effectiveness looks like, and everyone is held accountable equally by the team. If we worked on the wrong feature, a feature that didn't bring any value for the customer, we should have a retrospective and be comfortable in an environment we are psychologically safe enough to give feedback to the product owner, to the stakeholders, so that we can learn from this mistake and not do that again in the future. Are you currently working in an environment like that? Most people are not. Developers are optimized fully, 100% optimization, efficient. But it seems that the more business users are ignored. People making decisions are not being held accountable. Again, I have nothing against ensuring that the developers are efficient, fully optimized, but ensure also that they are effective. Ensure that you are measuring the effectiveness, the productivity of the developers on the right things. Ensure that the full flow, everyone is accountable and measured on the right things. Their performance is being measured on the right things. The performance of a team is being measured on the right things, not by the amount of story points that they burn down every single sprint. If you tell the team that they need to increase their velocity, let's say their velocity is 100 points, and they need to bring that to 120 points by the next quarter, they will bring that to 120 points by faking, by gaming the system. Remember Goodhart's law: when a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. When you create a measure that performance is being measured by, people change their behaviors. What they do in order to meet this new target. And if a target is wrong, if a measuring mechanism is wrong, you'll go into the wrong direction. If you measure people by the amount of lines of code that they will write a lot of code. But good code I don't think so. Optimized code, clean code? I don't think so. How do you measure success of a Scrum team, of your Scrum team, of the developers in your Scrum team? By the ability to meet a deadline, hard deadlines, by the ability to deliver a certain amount of tasks, complete a certain amount of stories every single sprint, or a certain amount of story points every single sprint, by the amount of codes that they write, tasks that they complete, releases that they do. I know many Scrum teams that measure the performance of their developers using these metrics. A lot of time is spent on writing a lot of lines of code, completing a lot of tasks. A lot of time is spent looking busy, ensuring that we are 100% optimized, efficient, writing code. But are we spending time on ensuring that we are building the right things? Are we measuring that? Are we rewarding the team by their ability to satisfy the customer? Are we ensuring that this is done, or are we too busy and ignoring the obvious? Which brings me to my next point. If you want more tips, insights on Agile, Scrum, personal growth, click on the video that stands out the most on the screen right now, and I'll see you in a few seconds.